Always low prices at Pahrump Valley Auto Plaza.
It was a hearing with the subcommittee to study water, and very well attended. Again, we had there were 753 people that signed in for public comment. I don't know how many were in the room. It was clearly the largest legislative hearing we've ever had. There was 4 rooms full of people, and started very contentious. I think there was some misunderstanding, and most people thought we were going to take an action. That committee was going to pass a bill that said, hey, no more domestic wells, or cut your domestic wells, or limit you. There are some problems with the existing statute, and then we've got some groundwater basins, and Pahrump is one of them, that are rapidly approaching, at least on paper, the 300% over appropriation, which makes them severely over appropriated. I tell people, you've got to understand a domestic well is a property right, and you have a right to use that water on your property. But if you don't have any water in the hole, it's not worth much. So we've got to make sure we maintain the water levels in all these basins, at least to where you can have it, use it, and in some areas of the state we are seeing domestic wells go dry. And we've been very fortunate here in Pahrump, even though there's a lot of water appropriated on paper, the actual use isn't occurring. So the water table is fairly stable here. But if it does, let's say we got significant growth and it continued to, the water table started to decline, then under existing law, the state engineer can go in, and the law says he will regulate by priority. Clearly the newest wells are the domestic wells. So that means he would have to cut the domestic wells off. We do have a BDR request that will ensure that can't happen, and we want to see that changed. It would limit the amount of water you could use to inside water, outside water for your pets and livestock, and I hope, and again, this is legislation that's being proposed, so it'll be next spring before we really kick it around, but I would hope that would include mature landscaping as well. In other areas, if it's a critical management area, or it's at that severely over appropriated, which is the 300%, then on new wells, he could say, okay, if you want to come in here and drill a new well, this is clearly in trouble, this basin, and at this point there's one critical management area in the state, and none that have truly been designated severely over appropriated. So we're talking just this is future, but if he could come in and say, well, okay, if you want a well and clearly the water table's dropping, we're going to limit you to a half acre foot and you'd have to put a meter on it.